if you could give me an actual time, like if there's 24 hours in a day, or even in a week for that matter, how much time should he focus on work versus you? What do you think?
I mean, I think all of his time should be mostly focused on work. My dad basically raised me since I was 13 years old, and all my dad did was wake up every day at 6 a.m. in the morning, worked his ass off, and then came home around like 7. So that's kind of what I'm used to, like work, come home, feed him or whatever, and then we have our time with him, and then maybe like on the weekend or whatever, like stuff like that. So almost literally every day.
So if your man, and I'm talking about your man now, not your dad. Let's separate it.
Well, that's what I kind of think about. Like when I think about somebody who could be my partner, I'm thinking about
total respect. Figure. So let's say you're dating a guy now. He's working. He's doing his thing all day. He's tired as shit. He gets home. What do you want him to focus on when he's home? Is it like, let's say you have a situation where, he's taking care of everything. You're the beautiful housewife. Let's just say. What's then your role? Like, is dinner ready? Is like he comes home, it's like you're in a little lingerie looking good for your man. Like, what's your role if he is full on focusing on his mission, his purpose, and his work? What are you bringing to the table at that point?
Try to keep the peace in the house, feminine energy, and just keep it peaceful.
Like what a diplomatic answer. Kendra, you're getting married in a month or so. Mazel tov, as us Jews say. What's your role work-wise? How much time is he spending on work? You're doing your YouTube thing. That's how you make your money. What's that role like? And how do you balance the getting paid, getting laid dynamics?
Well, my husband's focus must always be, or I'll put it like this, how I typically say it. I had better not be his number one priority. I had better not be his number one, because if I'm his number one, what are we doing? And this is what I mean. Yeah, and I don't want to be. I have no desire to do that. He's doing. I'm there to support the doing that he's doing. I'm there to provide the thing that he does not do in abundance, which is give him feminine support. And supply feminine energy to him. So
what does that look like? What is that feminine abundance and energy?
That looks like, okay, if he comes home after, that's a short and a long answer, because the way that I rank things in life, I use the 10 life values. Profession, out of the 10, profession is number 8. Family is actually number 3. Leisure is number 9. So if we're talking about getting laid, that's leisure. If we're talking about his wife, that's family. So if we're talking about just getting laid, his profession comes before his leisure all the time.
And what are these 10 things? What is this exactly?
The 10 things are, I call them the 10 life values. And it's really just a measuring tool.
Love it. I want to hear these 10 things.
Where you are in life. And the first one is spiritual. The second one is health. The third one is family. The fourth one is appearance. The fifth one is dwelling. The sixth one is mobility. The seventh one is education. The eighth one is profession. The ninth one is leisure. And the 10th one is wealth.
Wealth is 10 on the list?
Wealth is 10.
Why is wealth so low?
Because it's not necessarily so low, because the 10 life values it's listed in order that you put your life in, but wealth is seen not last, but as an anchor. Spiritual is on one side, wealth is on the other. They actually touch each other. So wealth isn't so much less important. It's just that if you have those other things in line in your life, wealth is the result of having those things in line in your life. So
couldn't one argue that if you have your wealth, then everything else can kind of fall in line after that?
But it doesn't
I totally
always.
Agree, by the way, that health is wealth.
It actually doesn't always, because if we go back to the Will Smith, he's got wealth, and what's his life like? His family's value is not good. His appearance value even is not good now. So his internal values are actually suffering. The first 5 are internal: spiritual, health, family, appearance, and dwelling are internal. External, the other 5. So he's got those 5. That's fine. He's suffering the other way. So wealth doesn't necessarily mean that other things fall in line. So when we get back to the question of what that femininity looks like, that support looks like, if my husband has come home from his profession, he's now home. Home is now family. Now, sometimes work follows you home, okay, depending on your work. So if work follows him home, let's say he has these ideas that he wants to bounce off of me, that's my feminine support. If he comes to me and says, babe, I have an idea for the business, this, and that. I may not know all the numbers and the hard stuff, the analytical stuff, but he's not looking to me to give him that. In other words, he doesn't want me to solve his problem for him. What he wants me to do is be a sounding board, for one. And then number two, I'm going to come at it from a feminine way. I have insight, he has foresight. So I'm going to look at it and say, babe, that sounds like a good idea, except you think you need to do business with that entity? Remember the track record? Do you know their track record? I did a little bit of research. Here's their track record, babe. Now, the decision is his. I'm not there to make the decision for him on what he should do, but I will provide my perspective to him. He takes that into consideration, and then since he's the leader, he makes the decision on his own, what we should do, and I go with that. Whether I agree with it or not, I go with it because that's the man I chose. That's the leader that I chose. So that's what that feminine support looks like. I'm supposed to give him that. And that kind of speaks to, I know I'm being long-winded, I'm gonna land my plane. That kind of speaks to going back to the question of being present when we were talking about cheating. Sometimes women lose that too. Men stop courting, which is true, but sometimes women aren't present either.
So if you like that clip, click right here to watch another, or if you want to watch the entire Soscast, click right here.